Listener discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to Comedy, the podcast that helps you find new, emerging, and undiscovered independent comedy podcasts. I'm Greg, the host and curator of comedy. Today's episode is from Ride Home Rants. Ride Home Rants is a comedy podcast where Mike talks with the everyday person and professionals. If you like today's episode, make sure to check out the episode description for links to subscribe. All right, let's get this show started.
Begin.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. This is, as always, your host, Mike Bono. I got a great episode for us this week, but first and foremost, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by my own personal merch store. That is the Stupid Should Hurt merch store. I have hats, I have t-shirts, I have hoodies because we're coming up into that crazy fall weather and everything like that. I have coffee mugs, you name it, I got it there. The link will be in the description of this episode. If you go there and use the promo code WELCOME, you will get 5% off your entire first purchase. Once again, that is the Stupid Should Hurt merch store. That being said, my guest today, he is a business owner. He is also a pretty avid sports fan, I would say. He is into fitness as well, and most importantly, he's another Italian that we have on the show. Jordan Branca joins the show. Jordan, thanks for joining, my man.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem at all. So let's dive right into this a little bit here. So yeah, you have your own business. So, what is your business and how did you kind of get into that?
Yeah, man. I'm an insurance broker. So primarily just life insurance and health insurance, which is also Medicare. Medicare is super big. Anything government incentivized, we're all about it because they pay well. But that's basically it. I kind of got into it 2 years ago. I honestly just read a Facebook post. Someone that I didn't even really know. He just said that he made $300,000 doing insurance. I didn't know one thing about insurance in general. I just kind of reached out to him. I was at the post office at that time, knew that I was meant to do something different, talk to people potentially, or just not like walk around all day, in the inclement weather. And just kind of reached out. He set me for an interview, literally sold me on the spot to sign up. I didn't even know what he was talking about. I just knew I didn't want to do what I was doing. It was right when COVID started. Literally, we just got the news that schools were out for 3 weeks. Everything's getting shut down. Made a career change at probably the worst time in the world. And here I am 2 years later. And so it was the best decision of my life. So
Yeah, I was going to ask how COVID affected that business, but you came in right at the beginning of it. So I guess you don't know kind of like what it was like pre.
Yeah, so I did feel the struggles of it. I go to clients' homes, so the style of my job, we're professional. Don't get me wrong, but I'm out there hustling. So I'm going out to clients basically. So that first year, it was a battle. In a sales atmosphere, people they could think of any rebuttal possible to kind of push you off, but they had the best one in the world. I don't feel comfortable with anyone coming to my house right now because of COVID.
Yep.
What was I going to say? There was nothing.
There's no coming.
No, you're good. It's okay. I don't have it. Because everyone, no matter where you stand on it, everyone was a little nervous at first when it all came out. We didn't know what was going on. So it was a struggle at first, but we got past it just like anything else in life.
Yeah. I've been in sales for 10 years and there's no rebuttal. There's no objection you can overcome that is worse than COVID. That's really all that's all they had to say. Fucking COVID. That
was it. Legit. All right. Yeah, I completely understand. No, we can do this outside. I can stand out. I would always tell them I'll stand outside your front door. They're yeah, no. It's okay.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
I was trying.
Hey, you got to try though. At least, you know what I mean? That's
sure, bro.
I
don't salary, so I only get paid straight commission, so that's just how it goes.
Uh-huh.
I had a shot.
Been there, and I guess technically me as a comedian, I just technically only make straight commission. I'm not salaried. If there's no shows, there's no money coming in. You know what I mean? That's kind of, I understand that struggle for sure. And, COVID affected a lot of people. I mean, I hate talking about this much later, past it 2 years later, but, it affected the entertainment industry. You know what I mean? Like shows were shut down and we were doing Zoom shows. I do a lot of crowd work when I'm in there, and you can't on a computer screen. I can't be doing crowd work. It was brutal. So I understand the struggle and trying to hustle. Thank God now shows are coming more and more frequent and everything's back to quote unquote normal. But also, like I said, you're kind of a fitness phenom from what I hear too, as well, along with your insurance. That's what Fitty says. I'm going by what Fitty is telling me.
Fitness phenom. I'll take it. I've never been called something so great in my life. That's going to be a new slogan I'm going by. I like it.
So, what's kind of like a daily routine for you? And, with, working out and your nutritious and your fitness goals, I guess I would say.
Oh man. So yeah, let's just go, daily routine. Today, it's not nearly as good as it was a year ago. That's for sure. A lot has changed as far as, I've really stepped up in my business world. So I've kind of put some of it on the back burner, to be real. But in general, I got to start the day with a workout. If I don't start it at the beginning of the day, I will not work out at any other point in the day, just because mentally my job, just everything for me is very mental that I do. So I'm like shot by the end of the day. Even I could go to the gym, but it's going to be terrible. It's going to be absolutely terrible. So always start the day first thing in the morning. I'm going straight to the gym. I usually just eat something small, protein bar, just something that gets something in me, calories. Honestly, it's not necessarily healthy, but it kind of helps with workouts, would be a Rice Krispie treat. Believe it or not, it has a perfect little ratio. Yeah, I like to get the small ones though. So it's like they're the 90 calorie ones. They got like 15 carbs. Just something in your stomach to, burn real quick. It also will spike, the proper levels for what you want to use in the gym. But I start off like that, come back home, I eat. I'm out the door usually. Try to pack as much stuff, through the day. Try to eat as clean as possible. I'm not really eating too clean these days. I'm going to be very honest with you. It's not like the grind I had last year. I did a bodybuilding competition last year. So last year it was gung-ho. I for sure was probably in the best physical shape of my life last year.
Yeah. I never would have thought of that like a Rice Krispie treat, just even the small, like it. Yeah.
Dude, in reality, it's 90 calories, to be real with you. Everyone wants to hop on these little fad diets. Like they want to do the keto diet. Don't get me wrong. Every diet's fine, but it's not sustainable. No one that does keto, I swear, I mean, some people, if you're the 1% of people, which majority of us aren't, it's not sustainable. You're just wasting your time. You're going to lose all this weight just to gain it all back. And you just put this huge toll on your body for nothing. Carbs are essential. I don't know why people think that they're not. They just don't want to watch what they eat, or they just don't want to go to the gym. It's difficult. I still don't have the right balance right now in my life, but we can't just neglect a whole macronutrient just because we think it's going to make us lose weight.
Oh yeah. I used to be in the gym 2 times a day for about an hour at each. I would go in the morning and then I would go in the evening, kind of blow off the steam from my day, but I haven't been in the gym and I can't tell you how long. And I can tell you, trying to lose weight, because COVID hit me pretty hard when I met my wife, 6 years ago. I was 175 pounds. Fast forward to COVID, I was 250 pounds. Like I said, I gained the COVID 50 real quick. Businesses shut down. I wasn't working. It was, what am I going to do? Sit here. I can only do so much around the house, and it's all right. I'm bored. I'm going to eat. That's kind of what happened. But trying to lose that, I've got myself down now about a year later in about the 205 range, which is kind of where I want to be. But it was a struggle to try to get myself down the 45 pounds essentially in a year. And it was a lot of walks with my dog. I'll tell you that, because, I don't have the motivation to go to the gym anymore. That's what it is. But I found some way. I have a husky. She needs that energy to get burned off of her. So
Huskies are super energetic.
Oh yeah, I think I have the quietest husky in the world. Like, how you see them all the videos and they're all talking and that. Mine just looks at me like I'm not Screw you. I'm not. No, I'm not.
Like, you don't mean shit. You're not even worth my time. I'm not talking.
She doesn't talk at all. Like we've had her since COVID, March of 2020. I couldn't tell you what her bark sounds like. I couldn't pick her bark out of a lineup. Like I have no idea what she sounds like. She's the quietest husky in the world, and I appreciate that because I don't need to be woken up in the middle of the night to my dog just having a conversation with herself. That's
I feel it.
So not only that, I mean, I'm sure this is a big help, but your wife is also into fitness too, as well, correct? Does that kind of help out? I mean, again, all coming from Fitty. I should have fact checked him before we started. But
no, yeah, you're fine. I mean, no, she as far as fitness goes, yeah. I mean, she does her own thing though. Like, so we do a lot of a lot of people saw all of our videos because we're with this acro yoga. So it's like acrobatic yoga that we do together. Honestly, again, my business has taken off in the past year. So everything is kind of just went completely to the side, and business is like everything right now for me. So like I've neglected everything, but yes, that's how everyone would know us. Yeah. We had a lot of hits, especially on like the TikTok world, millions of views and stuff, and just off of certain videos we released. It was pretty cool. But, yeah, she's into fitness for sure. She likes to do, she's more about like mind, body, soul type stuff though. She, like me and her, we don't click at all in the gym together. We can't go to the gym together. I want to tell her what to do, and she just tells me to fuck off, and then we just go our separate ways and do our own thing. It just doesn't work. It won't work. We have a whole different mindset in the gym. I go there to like punish myself and absolutely take out all my stresses in life and like get everything else out of my mind. And she just does it to be healthy, which is good. I mean, I'm doing it to be healthy, but it's like my it's my therapy session. That's like I have to go and like do that for me. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
So I come from a sports background, so like you get coaches yelling at you your whole life to just absolutely keep going and going and going, and that's just still my mindset on everything. So
yeah,
it's ingrained.
It really is. I mean, I come from a sports background too. One I didn't think I was going to get yelled at a lot in was swimming. I was a swimmer, and I mean, you want to talk about a good workout. I mean, swimming is probably the best workout you could have. But I still remember one of my coaches. I was struggling with my breaststroke. It was my kick. So he was like, all right, he put me in a lane by myself, made me hang on the wall in the deep end and do 500 breaststroke kicks. And he didn't count them unless it was perfect. And I got to tell you, after that practice, like I was like limping around my college campus. People were like, you're a swimmer. Why are you limping? I was like, you have no idea, bro. Like what I just went through. Like I can't feel my legs right now. This is brutal. And I never thought I'd have that coach. I played footballs, baseballs, and all that, where coaches will come get in your face, screaming at you, and it makes you do better. I carry those, I guess you would say, lessons with me in everything that I do. Like people ask me all the time, why are you doing so many different things and trying to do so many different things? Like, hey, if I'm not staying busy and doing something, I feel like I'm not doing anything at all. Like I could have been, I could have had the most productive day in one thing, and I've been like, man, today was just a waste, man. All I got done was this. Like that is
how I feel though. If I do not get a workout in the morning, I can have 100% the most productive day ever. I can make the most money in the world ever. I'll lay down in bed and I'll be so angry at myself. Like, why the fuck did you not go to the gym? Yeah. Like you were up. Why didn't you go? Or all you had to do is wake up a half hour early. Like, why didn't you go to the gym? That's mentally, it messes with me. That's what I mean. It's literally my therapy session. If I don't go, I'm not right.
I swear my animals know when I'm recording. I don't know if you saw that, but one of my cats just jumped past the screen and then jumped right up onto a shelf behind me. I know you can't see it because of the background I got.
It's some weird shit, but that's great. I love cats, bro. I'm all about cats. They're like the coolest fucking animals, dude. How many?
I have 5.
Oh yeah, you're sick. You're like you're the cat lady.
Again, I didn't. Okay. I'll explain this for the new listeners out there too as well. I didn't want 5. When I met my wife, she came with a dog and a cat. I was like, all right, I'm not that much of a cat person, but this one's kind of cool. He's kind of like a dog. I told her I didn't want any more, so we compromised. We have 5 now. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Life works out, right?
Yeah. So but there's a shelf behind me, and he just right in front of my face, and then right up there. I swear, they don't come around me unless I'm recording. They know.
They're very, very, very proud animals. They know when they want attention. So that was his way of letting you know that he's better than you.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I'm not wrong with that. So we kind of started talking about it a little bit, being sports fans and coming from a sports background. What sports do you like the best to watch and or play if you've played in the past?
Play is basketball all day. Basketball was my first love in life. To be real with you, I could genuinely care less to watch anything basketball related anymore. Not that I just don't have time. So like the only sports that I genuinely watch anymore, I might watch the NBA playoffs because they actually play hard. But probably football. NFL, I love the NFL. College football is great too. You know what I mean? I absolutely love football to watch. If I'm going to watch a sport, it's going to be football all day, 100%. No, nothing else. Also, UFC though. UFC would be my favorite sport. I can't forget that. I buy every pay-per-view. I'm gung ho on it. Went to my first pay-per-view down in Dallas like a month ago. That was epic. I'm gonna be at Madison Square Garden in November. I can't wait. So
yeah,
UFC probably actually has taken the forefront for my favorite sports, just because it's a solo effort on that day, but it's a team sport in the background. We just don't get to see the grind on the background, and it relates to my world, which I kind of love. It's like it's all on you to perform then at that point.
Absolutely. I love the UFC. I've talked to a couple of fighters on here before, and so I got to know the background, the team aspect of how they helped him prepare for that fight. But I got to tell you, every Saturday night, I know it's UFC fight night. I know there's going to be some type of card on ESPN Plus. So me and my wife are like, when she gets home from work, she's like, "Is it on? Do we have it? Do we have the fights on?" Like, she didn't know about MMA or mixed martial arts or the UFC until she met me, and we moved in together. She was making dinner. I was sitting there. I found like a classic one that was on like ESPN. Nothing was on. I was like, "Oh, cool. I'll watch this." And I remember her coming in and being like, "What are you watching?" I was like, it's mixed martial arts. It's the UFC. It's the best sport in the world. Like, I absolutely love it. She goes, "What is that, boxing?" I was like, "No, this is a straight fight in a cage." Like, you don't even understand. And then, like, she was like, she just stopped whatever she was doing, and then she was sitting down next to me. She's like, he's all bloodied up. I kind of like this sport. So now every Saturday night, she's like, I know it's fight night. Who's fighting? What's on the card? And
the best, bro. It's the best. It's the best night of the week. You can throw that shit on late at night. They let their event go on for like 5 hours. It's fantastic. You can step out of the room for a second. Like, it's a great sporting event, man. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely. But I know college football started probably by the time this airs, because these are pre-recorded for those new listeners. Haha, gotcha. But the backyard brawl was yesterday, Thursday, September. It would have been the first. Did you watch it, West Virginia Pitt, or?
I didn't watch it. Was not able to watch it. But are you from West Virginia? I'm sorry. Where are you from?
I was born and raised in West Virginia. I live in Ohio now. I live in Zanesville, Ohio. But I am born and raised in West Virginia.
Is that how you know Fiddy? I'm sorry. This is off topic, but
no, you're good. Yeah, me and Fiddy went to college together. Bethany College.
Okay.
Yeah, both athletes, both were in the rec a lot, and kind of sports kind of overlapped. Our seasons overlapped. Him football, me swimming, and then him with track. So we ran into each other a lot, and we've one of the few people from college that I've actually been able to stay in touch with, and it's cool to have that person. That's I just wish I had his energy. I mean, if anybody who knows Fiddy, I mean, that man, as soon as he opens his eyes, he goes mock Jesus with his hair on fire until he closes his eyes at night. So
he was just born with some sort of drug already infused in it. Hey, dude, he's just ready to go. Something,
man. Like, he called, like, every time he calls me, my wife's like, is that your boyfriend, Fiddy? I'm like, shut up. Like, yeah. But like, I answered, like, every night, like, his mind works faster than anybody's I've seen. Like, he's talking, and the only thing I can get in is, well, yeah, that sounds cool, yeah, yeah. And my wife's like, does he even need you for these conversations? I was like,
has to get it out of him.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, Trinny's the best. Like he's done a lot for this show since he's come on and managed the show here too as well. So I'm more than thankful. But anyways, like like I was saying, if you didn't get to watch the Backyard Brawl, that was an epic game. You want to talk about a heavyweight fight? Neither team led by more than 7 points.
That's how it should be. It's great.
And it was just Pitt would score, WV would come back and answer. Pitt would score, WV would come back and answer. And it wasn't until West Virginia blocked a punt to go up 7 that the game really turned. And one mistake. This is how bad sports are. One mistake WVU made. The receiver, Ford Wheaton, had just been tearing up the secondary. Wide open little stop pattern. Turns to go upfield before the ball's in his hands. It goes through his hands. Pick 6 the other way. Pitt ends up winning by 7. Like, it's how, like, you have that atmosphere of a game. And anybody who's played sports or anything like that, that's heartbreaking. Me as a diehard Mountaineer fan. You're born and raised in the state. They kick you out if you're not a fan. So it's
Pennsylvania. So hey,
yeah, but it was a phenomenal game. Like even the announcers, I can't remember who was announcing the game, was just like, man, this game was everything we expected and more. Like a month ago, it was sold out. There was over 70,000 people at
the big deal. The Backyard Brawl was a big deal, man.
I can't even remember the new name. Heinz Field. It's always going to be Heinz Field to me. It's not going to be Archer.
How it is, for sure.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, no, it's Heinz Field.
Yep. It's Heinz. We can agree.
It's always going to be Heinz. But yeah, so with football, NFL, who's your team?
Oh, Steelers all day.
Okay. Good man. I root for the Steelers. Like I said, I grew up in West Virginia. It was about an hour outside of Pittsburgh. West Virginia,
for sure.
West Virginia doesn't have any pro sports teams, so I mean, I root for all the pro teams in Pittsburgh, unless they're playing my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because I am a Buccaneers fan. And no, way before Tom Brady, I was back in.
Honestly, I spent a lifetime hating Tom Brady because he had our number in the playoffs, as a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
Because he was got to beat the Patriots in order to get to the Super Bowl. And we only were able to do that a couple times, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I spent a lifetime hating him. But as soon as he went to Tampa, I was rooting for him. I won money on him when they won the Super Bowl that year. That was awesome. So, I mean, that's my guy now. I'm like, fuck, he's the GOAT. You got to root for the GOAT, whatever. I love it. He's 44, 45, and he's still, top 3 quarterback in the league? I mean,
easily top 3 in the league.
He might not be top 3 as far as, we say, just genuine raw talent, but raw talent only does so much. I mean, who do you want at a quarterback if you're in the Super Bowl? I'm going to pick Tom Brady over every other quarterback in the NFL. So
yeah. He's won 7. I mean, it's a good bet. It's a good bet having him under center.
By any means necessary. If he has to deflate a football or 2, he'll get it done.
I forgot about the whole deflate gate. That's insane.
I called them cheaters my whole life. But I mean, then again, I gotta say I'm a hater. I've hated them my whole life. I hated the Patriots my whole life. So
yep, I'm with you on that one. Oh, I got to get this in, though, too, as well, because we are running down near the end of the episode here. Like I said, we're both Italian. Are there any Italian traditions that you kind of follow, or keep doing with your family now? Or,
A lot of them have passed. A lot of them have passed when the grandparents all passed, man. Unfortunately, it's just how it goes. My grandma was that super old school Italian woman. She'd cuss you out, MF you up and down. But then she'd kiss you on the cheek and tell you to sit down and eat. You know what I mean? So she was a savage. She was just that woman. The only Italian tradition now is just, it's sauce on Sundays, man. It's just that will always be a thing. We still have the same, family recipe that's been passed down for I don't know how long, but it's the same recipe. You know what I mean? So that's the only tradition that has carried on at this point. We still do some of the fishes for Christmas Eve. You know what I mean? When all the family, we don't we don't usually do them all anymore because, like I said, a lot of it died with when my grandma passed because she was like a super woman. You know what I mean? She did all of it, but
yeah, my parents are carrying on the tradition, but yes, my grandparents are still alive and still with us. But you're right. Yeah, they'll MF you up and down. My grandmother threw a frying pan at me one time because I made a small little joke because her screen door didn't close, and she asked me if I was heating the outside. I said, well, it was a little chilly outside, and I went down to fix it, and I heard the pan whiz past my head and go down the sidewalk. I was like, did you just throw a fucking frying pan at me? Like, what are we doing? And then
Italian women are savages.
and
man.
then came in, told me she loved me, kissed me on the cheek, said, sit down, we're gonna eat. Okay.
Yep. You see, you get it. That's exactly it, man. That's exactly
my great grandparents. God, I wish they were still around. Right off the boat from Italy, and
that's awesome.
No, very little English, and I still remember going over, and the saying that sticks with me the most is my grandmother would be like, "Oh, when you feed this boy, he eat like a baby bird. You sit down, we gonna manja right now. You sit the butt down, we're gonna manja right now." Like, she wasn't even supposed to be walking. Like, she was standing up. She was still at the stove cooking.
Awesome.
And that's the one thing I think will never die is food with Italians. That's
oh, it's the best food still to this day. If you don't like Italian food, I don't like you. I can't trust you. I mean, everyone loves Italian food. Come on.
Absolutely.
Forget about it. No, but in reality though, bro, it's like, you know, the old school tradition. They had it made, man. It's one of the best. It's one of the best things ever. I would love to go to Italy someday.
Yep.
It's awesome.
That's on my bucket list to make it to Italy before I go. So yeah, I understand. I need to go back. I need to see the homeland, essentially. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's where I want to be.
You know where your family originates from, just out of curiosity?
Sicily. We are Sicilian. Oh. Yeah.
You guys are crazy. That's good. Yeah. I like it. Yeah. No, my father so is 100% Italian. Yep. My grandma was 100% Sicilian, so it explains, like you just said, you know, it explains why she was crazy. And then my grandpa would have been like right outside of Naples, his side of the family. So it's still Lower Italy. I believe they call that like Calabrese or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad's full-blooded. My mom is not at all. It's you know, Italian and Slovak is what I actually am. I don't even say, yeah. All right. So yeah, I don't even say I'm Slovak. It's always been I'm Italian. Like I
know how that works. I used to cry. My mom was just reminding me about this the other day. She's like, you used to cry and you would always throw a fit. You're like, I don't want to be. I'm a little bit German too. I don't want to be Slovak or German. I just want to be Italian. I'm just Italian. It's crazy how that why that was so ingrained in my head, but it's still to this day like, yeah, I'm Italian.
Yeah, it's just I've always been Italian, and that's my dad says, you know what, my mom tried to do a Slovak holiday and my dad goes, no, there's no sauce, this is not my Dago traditions, no, get rid of this crap and we're starting over. And
you can tell Italian because you call it sauce. It's just crazy how that works. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's my wife thinks I'm so goofy because I call it sauce, and it's you know, because yes, you pick a certain kind of pasta to make with the sauce, but it's all around the sauce is what it is. And like their go-to is like, you guys want spaghetti? You guys want pasta? But like they might not even be making spaghetti. It's just everyone just calls it that. Like everywhere else, I swear, like they don't call it sauce. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm trying to get my wife to come around to that because she's full Irish. So you know it's you know, we have sauce on Sundays. That's what we do. It's sauce Sunday. But yeah, like I said, we're running down near the end of the episode. I got to get this segment in too as well because Fitty will kill me if I don't. And it is the Fast Fitty 5. 5 random questions from the wonderful manager of the podcast, Johnny Fitty Falcone. And Jordan, they're kind of rapid fire, but you can elaborate if you need to. And I'm looking at these. Most of these have nothing to do with what we've been talking about for the entire show. So if you're ready, we can get rolling. All right. Question number 1. Are hotels or bed and breakfasts better to stay in?
Is bed and breakfast, is that considered Airbnb? That's what that is, right?
Yeah.
Airbnb all day.
Okay. Question number 2, is flossing in the morning or night better?
Nighttime. Let's go with nighttime. I probably haven't flossed in a while. Terrible, I know. Whatever.
I don't know. The mind of Fiddy Falcone, everyone.
Love it.
Question number 3. In your opinion, when does the fall season officially start?
Oh shit. Fall starts, I guess, when you go back to school. I feel like once summer's over, I know technically it didn't, but it's just started. You know, kids are back in school. Fall's here.
Yep. Football season's for me. It's whenever football starts, it's fall.
Perfect. I agree with what you said.
All right. Question number 4. Who wins the Super Bowl this year?
Oh, fuck. I did put in a bet for this, too. You know what? Let's just go with the Bills Mafia. Fuck it.
Okay. I like that. I like that pick. Question number 5. All right. Who was a better QB, Dan Marino or Ben Roethlisberger?
I'm gonna go with Ben Roethel sausage all day. Fuck it too. I'm a diehard Steelers fan. I'm biased, so I'm gonna go with Ben Roethlisberger. He brought me a lot of joy in my life, and I didn't watch too much Dan Marino, so I'm gonna be biased on this one.
I didn't either. Yeah, it's tough for me to go against Big Ben just because I don't. He's got the rings. Dan doesn't. That's kind of what I'm basing it on too.
That's where I'm at.
All right, everybody, that was the Fast 55. All right, Jordan, like I said, we're coming down near the end of the episode. I give every guest this opportunity. I'm going to give you about a minute. If there's anything you want to get out there, anything you want to promote, whether it's a good message, your business, whatever it is, the floor is yours, my man.
Perfect. Thank you. So, I'm starting my own company here. I'm still under the same brokerage title. It's going to be Core Wealth Benefits. Anybody out there that is a people person, please hit me up on my Instagram. I believe it's just jordan.branca. Look me up on Instagram. If you want to just do a side hustle or just find a career that's better for that typical 9-to-5 job, you're worth more than a 9-to-5 job. Let me help you, especially if you're in this area, the Pennsylvania, Ohio, or West Virginia area. I will personally train you. I can help you make 6 figures. I promise you all day. I had no sales experience, came from the post office. I was in a crazy amount of debt. I turned all that around in 1 year, and honest to God, I'm living my best life. Let me help you make some true residual income where you never worry about a bill again in your life. That's it.
Oh, man, was that. That's probably one of the most powerful endings to the show that I have, but I love it when somebody has a good message, and especially when it helps both parties out. Jordan, thank you for joining the show. This was a lot of fun. I love when I can talk sports and anything Italian with anybody on the show. And everybody, look this man up on Instagram, jordan.branca, and he will help you out. That is going to do it for this week's episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. I want to again thank Jordan for joining the show. As always, if you like the show, be a friend, tell a friend. If you didn't, tell them anyways. They might like it just because you didn't. That's going to do it for me, and I will see y'all next week.
Thanks again for listening to Comedy by Indie Drop-In Network. If you would like to nominate a comedy podcast to be featured, just send me a tweet at Indie Drop-In. I'd also love to hear if one of our featured podcasts is now your favorite show. Indie Drop-In survives off ad revenue and listener donations. If you would like to contribute, please consider buying me a coffee. Just go to buymeacoffee.com/Indie Drop-In. If you look at the very bottom of the episode description, you will see a link. Indie Drop-In has many other shows that you also might like. Just go to indiedropin.com. All right, we'll see you next week.